Hey, what's up guys? Ease here. And once again, we're back with the Ultima ZT 50-inch by Cub Cadet. ZT1, don't forget the one. Okay, so what we're gonna do today, one of my viewers asked, could you guys see how the deck is removed? And that's what we're gonna do. So what do you need to remove the deck? This is it. All you need is your fingers and a nice cool spot. As you can see, it's a really hot, bright, sunny day here on the island. And there's the old man. There's the old man. 13 years old, this boy. Right, boy? Right, boy? Yep, 13. Well, anyway, let's go around real quick and show you guys what we need to do. So there's a 3-point suspension on for this deck. One is up in the front, which is right there, and then one on each side for the back. And so they're held in by these pins right here, and they're retained by these clips. So what to do first? What we're gonna do is we need to reset the deck to go all the way down so that we relieve the tension from the front. So let's do that real quick. Right now it's on 4.5. We're gonna need to put some pressure on that to lift it up. We're gonna put this all the way down to 1 and let it drop. So right there, it's all the way down on the ground. Let's go right over here and show you guys what we're gonna do. Alrighty. So right there's the pin. You can see it right there. We're just gonna remove it, and I usually just put these on the floorboard so I won't lose them. And you just gotta use your hand to get some of the tension off by lifting up the deck just a little bit, and then this will come off. So now that we've relieved the tension on this, this deck is gonna go that way. And what that does is it relieves the tension on the belt. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go back here and pull off the belt. And this is how easy it is. There you go. Just like that. No tools. Just unhook the belt. There you go. Okay. So now we're gonna go over here. Now this thing is spring loaded. Okay. It's being held up by a spring. So this thing's gonna want to come up when you take the load off of the suspension point. So what I usually do is I'll hold it up, get the tension off, pull the pin off, and then just let it hang. Okay, so the pin is off. We'll put it together, all together on the deck so we don't lose them. So for the back pin, you can see the back pins are longer. Front pin's the short one. Now we'll go to the other side. And let's remove this one. Once again, it's spring loaded. So just take off the retaining pin There you go. It's off. Take this one out. And you want to do it in this order because the spring is here. So you see right now it's kind of binding because the spring wants to go up. Okay, I think, yeah, it's bound up a bit. So you just gotta kind of wiggle it out. There you go. Now you see how this thing jumped up? That's what you gotta be careful of. And that's why I was kind of lifting this deck up so this thing wouldn't bite my hand. Here, the other pin is out. So now we got everything, including this belt, free. You can see everything is released now. The front's out, this is out, everything is released. So let's get it out. So one thing you guys want to do is, if you're doing this on concrete, which is what I did the first time, you gotta realize that the anti-scout wheels are only in the front. So if you don't want to scratch up your deck, what I would do is lift it from the back so that it's on the anti-scout wheels and slide it out. But since we're on grass here, we really don't have to worry about that. Just slide it. And that's the deck. No tools, super simple. And so now we have complete access. If you wanted to, or if you needed to change one of the mandrels or spindle, one of the pulleys, you can do it that easy. Or take, you know, if you really wanted to take this off to take out the blades, which you don't have to, you can do it with the deck mounted. But let me just show you this deck design really quick while we have it out. So most of the deck is flat like this, and then it goes up, it tapers up from here. So what it looks like is, what they did was they made this a cutout, and this is another piece of steel. See right there? They welded it on to give it that taper. And I don't know how well you guys can see it from right there, how it tapers up on that side. And so remember my first video, I was telling you I was concerned about the opening and how much it would, you know, this bar right here, how much it would affect the discharge. And I think because this thing is higher and raised like this, it allows more flow of grass to just jump out of there. However, in my opinion, I feel that they kind of left too much on this. I really think they could have either minimized this by shaving it down, and I'm not sure, so I'm not sure what the what their idea was on leaving this. I know that it provides strength for the leading edge of the deck and the back edge, so that it doesn't go in and out, like if you hit something here. But there's other ways to take care of that. I don't know if this was the best solution. Anyway, I mean, worst comes to worst, we can chop it off. But so far, from my use, I haven't seen the need. You know, the flow is actually just fine, if you ask me. There was no clogging or anything like that. And let's lift this up and look underneath. This is the design from underneath. So you can see here, this is the cutout, this area. So far, so good. I've cut areas almost full speed with this and didn't leave any stragglers. I mean, full speed. And I might have some video actually to show you guys that. But yeah, in fact, let's go get a tape measure and measure this whole thing out. Let's measure out this deck here. So that's about, I would call it, what do you guys see? From my vantage point, come on. What is that, 4 3/8 maybe? Give or take. And so that wraps all the way around. And from this point, it tapers up. And let's see how, at this point, it's up to 6 inches, right about here. Let's see where it stops at the opening. Sorry, I'm kind of one-handing this. It goes up to 6.5. So from 4 inches to 6.5 from this point up. And like I said, because of that, so far, so good. Now, one thing you have to consider though for me is that I haven't cut wet grass yet. We're coming into the dry season, so I'm not going to be able to find out unless I go purposely wet a lawn and try and cut it wet. But so far, like I said, I've cut pretty thick grass with this, and I'm up to about 7 hours, I think, on this thing. Let's check. So that's the first number was the battery voltage, and now we're at 7.1 hours. One thing you guys might want to know is that the hour meter on this does not reflect engine run time. It reflects key ignition time. So the clock starts running once you turn this key ignition. And how I found that out was on my other lawn tractor. I had noticed that the battery went dead. Hold on, I think that we got a bug going across the lens. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so I had noticed that I had left the ignition on, and so I had to recharge the battery, get it back going. And when I turned on the ignition, it jumped from, I had it at about 30 hours, and it went up to, I believe it was like 50 some hours. So 20, almost a whole day I left that ignition on before I caught it. And so because I left the ignition on, it counted the hours. And Cub Cadet has built-in maintenance intervals on this. So at like 25 hours, I think it'll tell you to clean the air filter. At 50 hours, it'll tell you to change the oil. So if it's not directly in sync with your runtime on the motor, it'll throw it all off. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, on that one, change the oil earlier and then kind of reset and just follow that interval. So right now the interval would be shorter than 50. It'll be about, I'll change the oil about 30, give or take, and then I would just follow the intervals that it tells me after that. And just remember to when you're not running the engine, to turn this key off. And yeah, we'll take a closer look at everything here. So this is 7 hours of use so far. You can see the nubs on the tires are still there. Oh man, let me tell you, the hookup on these tires are great. I mean, just I've made this thing go on crazy terrain, hills, everything, and so far so good. Not one time did I ever have a slide or an inkling of not being stable. So far I like everything, but I have to say that Cub Cadet, if you ever watch this video, you really have to redesign this. At least just the pedal, it really has to come in. This outside stuff, look at the ergonomics. Who came up with this? Look at how far off center your leg has to be. It's totally awkward. Here, let's just put the bars in. Okay, look at it from that point of view. Okay, here, better yet, look at this. Look how far out my leg has to go. It's hitting this every single time. Your bars are forward, which makes it even worse. Look at that. It makes it's I don't know. So right now the deck is it's sprung up right now, so this is basically pushing all the way down so that the deck would be all the way up. So if the deck was on and this was all the way low, this pedal here would be back more. So my leg would be like this. That's, if it was in, no problem. But out here, out there doesn't work. And working in construction, working with engineers, sometimes the classroom boys don't really get out enough to know that that's not the way. I mean, I don't know what the thinking was. I don't know if the guy had giant feet and his foot went out wide like that, but that needs to be changed. And I'm gonna probably take matters into my own hands and find a way to get either make something that comes out this way so that I can push it from out here, or in here rather, or I mean, I don't know. I'm even thinking maybe just cut this off and weld a plate that comes inwards, and then I'll show you how it's supposed to be done, Cub Cadet. Okay, but for that one negative, it doesn't offset all the positives. So Cub Cadet really got most of it right. 98%. That's a 2% that could be fixed. That could be fixed mid-year. They could change that design and start, you know, call the factory and start bending that pedal this way and not that way. That's how easy that fix is. But for the other things, it's perfect, if you ask me. I was worried about the 3-point suspension versus the 4-point suspension. That since I've used it, it's not even a thing. I mean, I'm cutting really uneven ground, and this thing has done a great job of kind of conforming to the terrain and getting everything cut nice and neat. You guys, one more thing. If you want to put this thing back in, do everything that I did in reverse, but I want to show you something super cool. So I was gonna I slid the deck back through, and I needed to get this out of the way, but check this out. This thing just slides out. That is cool. Because if you ever wanted to just take the deck off and go on for a ride, take the kids or pull a wagon or whatever, this is how easy it is. The other ones you had to kind of totally unscrew the, I don't know what you call this, but whatever this is, you had to unscrew it to take it out, or to take a piece of bungee or tie wire and tie it up out of the way. But look at this. This is cool. So, just real quick, let me go through how we're gonna put this back together. You basically do everything I did in reverse. And so what I'm gonna do though is before I suspend this, I'm gonna put the belt on first. So that's the only thing I'm gonna do kind of out of order, is I'm gonna put the belt on first, hang the two back ends, and then the front last. So that's the way I'm gonna do it. Basically the reverse operation of what I showed you guys. And again, no tools needed in this to take this deck out, and that's how quick and easy it is. So yeah, for those of you who already got one, man, that's awesome. I know that you guys know what I'm talking about, how cool this machine is. And for those of you guys who are on the fence looking at the other options out there, maybe you don't have one in your area and they have other ones and you're thinking, maybe I won't wait, I'll get the Toro or the John Deere. It's worth the wait, guys. Wait for it. Because this thing is awesome. It's such an awesome machine, I'm telling you. For all you guys freezing your butts off right now, check it out. Look at how nice this weather is. Look at our avocado. Look at that. Look at that. That's one of about 8 trees. We got more coming. A lot more coming. And our coffee beans are doing good. Our banana trees aren't up yet, but you guys should really think about getting out of that snow, man. Get into some warm weather. Come into the tropics. Come visit Guam. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace out.